Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tube, or welcome back if this is your fifth DC Stargirl episode review. Wow, 5 episodes. May kind of ended quickly, and June's almost over. God, I miss. How fucking much time has passed? I'm recording this on. I should be playing Last of Us Part 2 right now, but I got a lot on my agenda, so I don't think I'll be getting to that anytime soon. Plus, I was really anxious on watching this episode of Stargirl, because after last week, man, I was so freaking hyped for the next one. Because last week, obviously, you guys, if you are coming from that, like, you just heard me fanboy a lot during that episode, and, really liking that episode so much that I was really excited for this episode. And, I didn't want to, watch it on Tuesday night or even Wednesday because I knew I was going to forget a lot of things. So I just watched it now. I do think overall base impressions on this episode, I think it's a little bit of a down step from last week. I feel like last week just is a little bit much better, where at least in this week they try to fit two of the next Justice Society of America characters into this one episode, and I personally don't believe, I feel like this could have been, had they split them up into their own separate episodes. I feel like that was the point, but maybe when we're done with the whole season, maybe we'll understand why they had to do that or whatever. Maybe I really don't know. Honestly, I felt like if they had done the whole, we're going to do 3 episodes based on each of the 3 other new Justice Society of America characters, I would have been fine with that. But at least with this one, I still think it's a good episode. I just kind of was a little bummed out that they kind of condensed 2 characters, 2 of the other characters, into just one standalone episode. But anyway, but besides that, I still really enjoyed this episode. I think this was another good episode overall. Still, we're on a very good pace here with Stargirl. And yeah, so let's get through the everlasting butchered recap and see what else I can uncover. And also, I completely forgot. Yeah, I don't know why. My own thing before I start, I completely forgot the Green Lantern. Lantern was in the series. I know there was apparently the Green Lantern looked somewhat of a different costume before the show, before the more green spandex one that we got in the comics and even movie, besides the CGI nature of it. I'm sorry, George, if you're going to kill me because of that. I had no idea that Green Lantern looked completely different in the original format. I'm going to have to text him after this, see what's up with that. But anyway, so, okay, with that being said, where did we begin? And we begin another flashback akin to last week, where we're kind of getting set up for our... Here's the thing, that no matter what you're going to say, the reason why I didn't like this episode as much as the last one, I don't mean I hate the episode, I just mean, it's a step down from last week. I meant it in the fact of, this is definitely the Hour Man episode. This is definitely Rick Tyler's origin episode, in terms of, him learning about his upbringing, learning about the responsibilities of his new powers. But while last week we focused more on the backstory of Yolanda and how, her current situation would even drive her to be Wildcat, this week was kind of the reverse of that, where it was Rex didn't really go through anything. Well, he did go through a traumatic event with losing his parents going away so young, but I mean, in the way it's he had no Yolanda had no connection to Wildcat, whereas this week Rick does have a connection to Our Man, but it's still kind of different in a way. I mean, I had no way to describe it, but it's honestly slipped my mind. My head's not... It's been a long day for me. I'll talk about it at some point in the future, but it was just a long day for me, so I apologize. My head's not really working as well as it should be. So I think... Where do we go from there? Oh no, I didn't even go anywhere. I was just making a brief comment. So we start another flashback. We're still in Blue Valley, this time many more years ago, where Rex Tyler and his wife are basically trying to... This is something, it's ironic how last week we had a Spider-Man moment with Yolanda climbing the building, and this week we get an Amazing Spider-Man moment, ironically also from the first movie, where... This is basically reminding me of the Amazing Spider-Man opening scene, where Peter's parents are both leaving him behind with his uncle and aunt, or in this case it's just Rick with his uncle. It's just so ironic to me that they stuffed in 2 Spider-Man related references from the movies in 2 weeks. Oh, I love the show so much. So yeah, no context given why Rex and his wife had to leave. I'm pretty sure this has something to do with the Injustice Society and all that. And they're letting Rick know, hey, we'll be back. We just need to go away for a while. Your uncle's going to take care of you. However, when they're talking to the uncles more specifically, this feels like something more long-term, as they're telling you, hey, look, we falsified the birth certificate. There's documents, there are paperwork in your name. Basically, you're going to be Rick's new father on paper. We changed his name legally to Harris, so he's not a Tyler anymore. He's Harris. I think that's it. I think that's the last name they use. It starts with an H, something like that. As well as we left you $50,000 to kind of get yourself started up on this new life. The uncle's like, hey, look, well, man, I don't know how to be a dad or anything. And the mom's like, just wing it. Don't worry about it. Like, we'll hopefully be back soon. And it was kind of like, oh my God, I'm so broken. My English is finally broken. What was I saying? This felt like something like they were dragging out. Not the scene why, but the parents. Like, they didn't want to say goodbye to their kid, but they had to. They know that if they stay here any longer, he's going to get caught in the crossfire of this battle between two societies, and they got to care for their son. So they were trying to like really hold out the goodbye longer than it should have. But honestly, it was sweet. But Rex and his wife are beginning their trek out of Blue Valley. They don't really get that far as, a mysterious gray-looking beast. I wonder what his name might be. I wonder when he was born by. This mysterious beast attacks the car, and the car rams to a tree, and yeah, you kind of can guess the rest. And then we cut to present day, where we see Rick, now much older, now a teenager, working on the car that his dad had left for him. Actually, another thing I forgot is that his dad left him like a memento of him, like a 66 Chevrolet, or I think that was what it was. A 66 car, a car from 1966. The small replica that he tells Rick, hopefully one day you'll get to have your own. So we see him working on the car, but he's missing a piece. He got the piece, but it's missing. Turns out his uncle, who has pretty much become a dirtbag uncle, has taken the carburetor and sold it for money. And the excuse is that, well, you can obviously tell this guy's a drunk. He is not happy to be here. And also the fact that he's probably, trying his best to try and pay the bills and whatever without, any, I'm pretty sure no sustainable source of income or anything. It just seems like where I had said the Amazing Spider-Man reference, I said that Peter grew up in a nice, warm, loving home with his uncle and aunt. I'm pretty sure the home that Rick grew up with his uncle was nothing any of the sort, because I feel like there's tension between these two characters, and also that he doesn't probably like him. I'm guessing based on this one interaction, but that doesn't. The uncle threatens Rick, hey, punch me. You got a problem with me? Go punch me. Indicating that this guy doesn't give a fuck about even his own nephew. But Rick doesn't punch him. Instead, he just walks to school. He passes by the tree that supposedly his parents, were killed by, and we just continue on our way. We come back to our real star of the show, Courtney, sleeping in bed on Halloween Day, so it's already Halloween. That was pretty quick. Or at least it's kind of weird that her parents conveniently just... So the thing I'm confused by timeline-wise is that, so Courtney's parent, I'm pretty sure the job was probably a last-minute choice or something. I really don't know how the background of the story works, but... So we didn't really interrupt Courtney's introduction into the new year. I mean, basically, had she just been transferred at the start of the year, I mean, she just could have just fit in the freshman crowd. I don't even know what grade she is. I think she's a sophomore or junior. I forgot. I'm pretty sure they mentioned it in the show, but my mind's not working. The point I'm trying to make is that the timeline-wise, it's. I thought this was like a much more like into the school year season, but no, this takes place during Halloween. So at least this episode is. So it was kind of weird for me to understand, considering the fact that. So why couldn't they just have, done in the beginning of September when, school was starting? So it doesn't have to be a terribly rude interruption or whatsoever. But anyway, Courtney is being woken up by almost every single member of her family. Her dog, her stepbrother, her mom. Her mom almost accidentally discovered her Stargirl outfit that I think she just threw away after her tidbit adventure with Yolanda the last night before. So she decided as a security measure to bring over the entire gym duffel bag full with the costumes of the Justice Society, whether the school, just so that her mom doesn't see them. Pat interrupts her, shows her a newspaper article showing the magician guy and the husband that died 2 weeks ago from Icicle. Apparently, Pat comes to the conclusion that he might have been an Injustice Society member. So now we got two Injustice Society members in Blue Valley. So Courtney's theory is probably true that there are other members of the Injustice Society still hiding in Blue Valley, but Pat needs to know why are they still here. I mean, the Justice Society is, at least at this current iteration, they're gone. They're dead. So what are they still doing here? And Courtney brings up her theory that her principal might be another member because of the violin. And, Pat did confirm that, there was an Injustice Society member that did play the violin. So, however, Pat's trying to disprove that. Like, oh, wait, hold on. That character was a man. He was a different race. Your principal does not fit the bill. But Courtney's like, well, hey, I saw her in Brainwave's room playing a violin very evilly. And yes, just because you play an instrument evilly means that you're automatically a supervillain or something. But anyway, we come back to the school. Courtney is now friendly with Yolanda. Now the two are friends. Like, there's no... It is still very weird how, like, how quickly they became friends. I know last week's episode was meant to kind of solidify their friendship. But I kind of felt like this is something, like, even I can tell by Yolanda's body language, like, she's still getting used to this idea of, like, oh, I'm a superhero by choice. And, we still got to find more superheroes. It just seems like that Courtney wasn't... I don't know. I personally think that had these... Again, I don't know how the rest of season 1's going to go, so I could be wrong on this. But I don't know. Like, I would have loved an episode in between where we get to see... I know that would have become more stereotypical and old eventually, but I would have loved for them to have done the introduction episode to a new member, and then we get the next episode, just those two bonding in their costumes. But we don't really get that. We just kind of skipped over that. It's like, okay, we're on to the next member. Yolanda, you had your week last week. Now it's the next person's turn. And, they find a potential candidate in one of the students, but she's... Sorry, guys. Had a long day again. I apologize. Unprofessional. Another potential member, but she's a little bit more too overeager for fighting, so they immediately disprove that. Meanwhile, Beth is trailing both of them because last week Beth figured out that both Courtney and Yolanda are superheroes because she literally saw them climbing the hospital building the last night before, and Beth is kind of more... It's weird how, like, quickly Bev has changed, because, like, the first 4 episodes where Bev was, like, she was quiet, she was attached to her parents. This week, she's kind of, like, over-eager to kind of figure out what Courtney's secret is and how does she get involved in it. Like, it's so weird since, I don't know, like, first 4 episodes, Bev was all about her family. This week, all of a sudden, she's all about Courtney and, the superhero stuff. Still very weird, in my opinion, but anyway, where did we... I forgot where we're going from here. No, I think we cut to... Did we cut to Rick Nix? I forgot. I forgot. We ended up... Oh, yeah. There's this weird, like... Here's the thing about the Injustice Society. Like, after the first 3 episodes, we kind of, like... They're kind of to the background a little bit. They're kind of like, they're forming their evil plan. Icicle and this mysterious bearded dude are talking about their plans, and they gave someone a chocolate. I don't know the context of the scene. I can't understand why I'm yawning. I'm so sorry. Where was I? Oh, yeah, so after that, we cut to... conveniently, the end of the day already, Pat's driving Courtney home, and the car automatically breaks down, so Pat goes outside to fix it. He's trying to find the problem. Then Rick conveniently shows up behind him, tells him, hey, it's this thing. The two of them try to fix it together, and then Courtney notices the hourglass in her duffel bag with the Justice Society outfits glowing when Rick came around. It was glowing in the similar way that the cosmic staff was glowing when, she was near it. So Courtney kind of puts the pieces together, and also Pat doing his own sleuthing that, like, hey, wait a minute, a guy who knows a lot about cars? 66 Chevrolet? I gotta stop yawning. This yawning thing is annoying me. Corvette. Like, wait a minute, is this guy? Nah, this can't be. It can't be his son. So basically, these two focal points collide, and just basically we're so like, oh yeah, this guy's obviously the guy, the son of our man. Courtney notices that, and Courtney uses that as an excuse to kind of run after the guy, walk after the guy, try to like get him to a corner where she could talk to him privately. She does, and she tries to initially tell, hey man, this hourglass, I forgot what the excuse she said was. However, when Courtney was showing him the hourglass, it kind of convinced him that, hey, he is this, legacy like figure. He is the next superhero. The hourglass doesn't glow, so Courtney can't prove her theory. So that's for another rail. And then we cut back to the Whitmore house the Whitmore Dugan house, where Beth just shows up, claims to be Courtney's friend, which clearly she's not. And even her mom's just blindsided for a second. It's like, wow, Courtney has a friend. I mean, come on. It's not like Courtney was alone or anything. I mean, come on. I'm pretty basically sure she was friendly back in California, but I don't think she was like antisocial or anything. I mean, come on. What kind of mom are you that you don't know that your daughter could have been? I don't know. I haven't looked much into it. Oh my god, I love tea. Anyway, that kind of gave me the boost I needed. So Beth's in the house talking as she always does. Even the stepbrother gets mildly annoyed by this. Then Beth notices the dog chewing on Dr. Midnight's glasses, or the goggles, and Beth goes after the dog, gets the goggles from him, puts on the goggles, and figures out this is kind of like a Iron Man-esque AI function goggle system where, you know, she's able to like get the information on anything in the room. She's able to have multiple visions of everything, and you know, it's a cool moment for her since, like, you know, she's discovering like, wow. And then I think there's another scene. I don't know, what was the other scene with? There's a scene between this and before we get to see Courtney come into the room. I don't think it was the Rick scene. I think we already passed that. Oh, no, yeah. No, I remember. So Pat goes to the house where he assumes Rick lives, and it was the house of the former Hour Man, and, you know, he doesn't get to see Rick, but he sees the uncle, and, you know, it's not getting the right vibe here, so Pat kind of disproves that, okay, maybe he's not the son of Hour Man, maybe he's just another random person that moved in here or something. So then Courtney comes back home. She notices Beth is in her room. Initially, Courtney's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, you know, you're not supposed to be here. And, you know, Beth kind of reveals everything. Like, hey, I know you're Stargirl. I know Yolanda's Wildcat. I know about the Justice Society. I know about the... Like, basically, Beth just knows everything about the show that could have taken, like, a whole season for her to know. She just learns it like that. That's just so funny in my books. And Courtney's initially like, hey, listen, you know, you gotta get back the goggles, I gotta keep this all top secret, stuff like that. Basically, Courtney's not really seeing her as a potential successor to any of the superheroes. However, once Beth kind of makes a connection between Courtney and Rick, and she tells her, that, oh, hey, Rick is the son of Hour Man, that kind of proves Courtney's theory about the hourglass glowing thing, that Rick is also a legacy. He is also an offspring of one of the original Justice Society now. Courtney is now more determined than ever to like recruit Rick to the cause, with Beth coming along for the ride. So then we cut to that night where we see the girls walking the street towards the location where Rick is right now. Yolanda's kind of like second questioning Courtney's decision to like include her in this new Justice Society, although Courtney's kind of writing it off like, I didn't technically recruit her. She kind of found the glasses and, you know, recruited herself. And the joke is like, oh, her talking must be her superpower. And that was kind of funny. Even Beth had to, like, actually chuckle at it. So they get to the party. They find that Rick's in there, you know, probably underage drinking with everyone else. Yolanda's opting to step out. Not because of the whole parental thing, but because that Henry Jr. is there and, you know, doesn't want to talk to him anything. So Courtney and Beth decide to go in together on this, and Beth is trying to mingle with the other people somehow, and no one's second questioning it. Okay. Courtney is looking around for Rick, and then it turns out the house is owned by that douchebag girl, like the cheerleader who took Yolanda's boyfriend from before the beginning of the series. Remember that girl? Like, so she owns the party, she owns the house, and of course Courtney not being friendly with her. Given that near fight they had last week, it's not in the best interest for these two to be like anywhere near each other. So once she sees some poor teenager throwing up and then passing out, she takes the gremlin's head and puts it on her to kind of hide her appearance. And she heads into the backyard and finds Rick there, and once again tries to tell him, hey, listen, you're the son of Rex Tyler, son of Hour Man, you're the next Hour Man. And, you know, Courtney brings along the other two to kind of prove to him that, like, hey, you are the next, you can be the next Hour Man. But the guy's like, nah, y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. What are you doing here? And Beth kind of like explains to all the hourglass can only work if you're, you know, flipping it upside down. So to flip it upside down, it works on Rick. Rick gets sold in the whole, like, he is a Justice Society member, or he has superhero powers of sorts, as he crushes a beer keg, and, you know, is able to do that with ease. However, instead of like immediately like, wow, I guess I'm going to join you guys. Like, no, Rick's definitely not like, hey, listen, I have no interest in joining you guys. I'm about to do my own thing. Like, and this hourglass is mine. It was from my dad, now it's mine. So peace out. So Yolanda basically said, like, you just handed a powerful weapon to one of the most obnoxious delinquents in all of Blue Valley. Yeah, Courtney, you get it the right thing here, of course. Nothing is perfect as superhero. No, nothing is. Oh, God. Anyway. Where do we go from here? Oh, yeah. So we see back in the town, Rex is walking basically towards home. He sees his beat-ass uncle slumming it, trying to hook up with a waitress. The waitress is not having it. Basically already drunk as hell. Rick, not happy whatsoever, finds his car and immediately punches it with one punch. And, you know, they obviously know something's up. Yolanda and Courtney immediately say, okay, we got to suit up. We got to go chase him down and convince him again. They tell Beth, hey, Beth, we appreciate your help, but you got to stay back here. This could be dangerous. Once again, trying to sideline Beth, and Beth's kind of like disappointed in everything. Beth talks to the AI of the original Dr. Midnight and is, you know, trying to say, like, hey, listen, I know about everything, but still, I kind of feel like, you know, what is there left to do? Like, her parents basically just said, like, hey, listen, you gotta live your own life. We want our own lives back. You need to get your own life. And before Bev starts rambling on even further, the AI shows her a flashback or some sort of memory tube or something, and Beth is in shock. And then I believe we cut to... Oh, yeah, we cut to... back to the tree where Rick is now with the hourglass. Courtney and Yolanda are in gear. Once again, trying to convince him. Rick's not having it. And then while Rick is about to... gets mad when Courtney says that he has a choice of being a superhero and everything. Rick gets mad at that, destroys the tree that killed his parents, and is about to start fighting Stargirl and Wildcat before Beth shows up in the nick of time and just shows them a projection that shows that Rick's parents didn't die of a car accident. They died because someone attacked them, and, you know, then they died. So now Rick is now... And there was, like, a very sad moment where we see Rick, like... The projection is like going towards him, and he sees his parents, and he's kind of like holding his hand and like, Mom, Dad. It's like we're getting to see like a younger like moment of his, and it was kind of a little bit heartwarming or heartbreaking. And then like that, he agrees to like, okay, I'll join you guys, but I'm not going to do this for like to avenge my parents. I'm going to get revenge on the Injustice Society for what they did to my parents. So basically, this guy's just basically setting in stone like, we're not going to be friends. I'm not going to be nice to you guys. I'm just, you know, going to team up with you guys because it'll be easier, and also we'll get the job done and get revenge quicker. So yeah, they got their justice. Courtney has her whole team now. That was fairly quick, and then we get this weird, like not weird, but like with the violin. The violin scene with the principal. It was kind of a little bit ominous because she was kind of like controlling everyone. And that was kind of weird. Also, Pat is looking at a picture of Our Man Sans costume with the '66 Chevrolet, and Courtney's mom lets him know like, oh, there was an accident, so you're being called back to your body shop. And you know, Pat's starting to put the pieces together. Like, wait a minute, hold on, there might be something more at play here. Meanwhile, the Injustice Society makes their move and are stealing something for their master plan or whatever. And Pat goes into Courtney's room and discovers the Green Lantern lantern, and he's like, "Oh no, Courtney's been recruiting people behind my back," and that's where we end the episode. So, overall speaking, I gotta work on my calves. Sorry about that. Overall speaking, I really did enjoy this episode. I did feel like this was kind of a downgrade from last week. I still believe last week is better in my books, but also I do believe that this was still a good episode. Like I love that we got a lot of focus on Our Man, and you know the next Our Man, not seeing as not every member of the Justice Society is, you know, just newbies and novices that has no connection. No, we are getting real proper, you know, legacy figures, and it would be very interesting down the line if we discover that every Justice Society has a son or a daughter. And, you know, if they eventually do come up to claim their titles, will the ones that Courtney just hands over will be able to, you know, relinquish that when he's, I don't know. But it is kind of, you know, it is kind of something to, like, really think about. But right now, you know, I really enjoyed all the Iron Man segments. I still felt bad that Beth, well, not Beth, the Dr. Midnight stuff was kind of like shoved in the last minute, shoved in just to like, oh, let's just get two of them out of the way. Let's just get it over with, which was the only disappointing part. I would have loved to see a standalone Dr. Midnight episode, maybe just see Beth just sleuthing around a little bit more, with the others before she joins in, but I guess it's fine. It's fine at the end of the day. But this is, again, was another character-driven episode. We didn't really get to see much of Pad being Stripe, and also the Injustice Society really making any big move. These are all small pieces towards hopefully a larger story or a larger culmination, but at least for now, it's still pretty good. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I'm going to ask George a lot of questions about that Green Lantern thing. And then hopefully, so I give this episode 2 thumbs up. And yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. So I really enjoyed this episode. And yeah, what you guys think? What did you guys think of the episode? Do you guys like it as well? Did you guys think it was kind of an underwhelming thing for two Justice Society members to be fit into one episode? Or let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts were. I'm always open to conversation there. And we'll figure it out together. So anyway, guys, if you were unaware, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what we're doing overall on What's in the Tube, next week we're starting up Perry Mason episode reviews on Mondays after a brand new episode on Sunday nights on HBO. It's our first foray to the HBO world properly, so stay tuned for that if you're a mystery solver fan or something of the nature. And then also next week, we are starting up Doom Patrol Season 2 episode reviews, which will be coming out every Thursday. Well, it's coming out every Saturday, our episode reviews after a brand new episode on Thursday on HBO Max, the new streaming service. That's going to be hella fun. But if you only care about Stargirl, we're always posting a brand new episode review each and every Friday after a brand new episode on Monday on DC Universe's streaming app, and as well as every Tuesday on the CW, or you can catch it for free on Wednesdays on CW.com in the app. I'm pretty sure that's still the case. I'm not sure how the exclusivity rights are. I could be wrong. If I'm misquoting it again, I'm sorry. If you want to know a couple other one-offs we're doing a Westworld conversation, which I don't know when that got posted. It's either got posted or it's being posted next. I forgot which one is getting posted first. I'm a little bit confused on that. And also we're doing a High School Musical 3 senior year review before we start off the... before we started the Doom Patrol Season 2 review. That'll be uploaded at some point. I just want to get those one-offs out of the way before we get back into the swing of like doing episode reviews for at least another 8 or so weeks. And yeah, so that was it. So if you're unaware, again, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube.com. Ring the bell for notification when we have a new episode review live for Stargirl. Like, favorite, share if you want to, but it does really help us out in the long run, as well as follow us on social media to be up to date on stuff. And I'll see you, Stargazers, next week. Peace out.